Here we have an ASUS laptop. This is the ROG Zephyrus GU502 model. Customer said it does not power on and it does not charge. We already disassembled the board and we're gonna take a look and see what's going on and why the board is not powering on. Now I did do an initial inspection. You know how I usually tell you most ASUS boards, they suffer from a short circuit? This one here does not, and I thought this one would be a bit more interesting. Let me show you what's going on. So the first thing I do is we go to the power jack and we have those two DC power MOSFETs. We measure at the current sense resistor. Make sure we do not have a short circuit, and we do not. I'm reading 0.17 voltage drop. So we know we do not have a shorted line. Usually a shorted line on the current sense resistor that we just measured would likely be one of those DR MOSFETs under the CPU or GPU, or it could be a shorted capacitor or whatever. But that's not the case here. What is the problem? Now, I did look at the board, visual inspection, and the board looks super clean. No signs of liquid damage, no signs of corrosion, no signs of any burned or blown chips, capacitors, no liquid metal spill, no liquid metal at all. I checked for all those things and I did not see anything unusual. I do not want to waste your time going over the board again. I did check the PCH chip also for a crack, because I see that a lot on many laptops where the PCH chip is cracked. Visual inspection passed, no short circuit. What's next? How can we tell what's wrong with the board? I'm gonna plug the charging cable and we're gonna monitor the board under a thermal camera and see if anything gets hot. Right, so let's take a look. We're gonna plug the charging cable in. And we do see something hot right here. It looks like it may be coming from back of the board, because where my finger is an inductor, and around the inductor we do not have much going on. Let me flip the board. Yeah, right there. That's the 1285A chip, and the chip is burning hot. Let me see if I can put the target, the X, on it. And we have 175 Fahrenheit, right? 176. $215. Let me unplug. The chip is reaching 215 degrees Fahrenheit. Where's the chip? Right, so that's the chip. 1285A. I mean, what's so significant about the 1285A chip? Can it prevent the whole system from powering on? Of course. Because the 1285A chip, it communicates with the Super I/O chip. It generates 3.3 volts, 5 volts, and without those voltages, the system is not going to power on, right? How do we measure? Pin number 1 of the chip is right where that line is. I've worked so many times with this chip, I memorized it. Let me plug the charging cable in. And we're gonna check if the chip is getting the 19 volts input. And 19 volts should be on pin number 12. Meter in voltage mode. And we have 19 volts. Let's check for 3.3 volts, and that's pin number 3. Okay, so pin number 3 is right here. So we're gonna check right there. Look at this. I'm getting 0.8 volts instead of 3.3 volts. Why? Why do we have 0.8 instead of 3.3? Is the chip bad? The chip doesn't have to be bad to be missing 3.3 volts. Let's continue with the measuring, and I'll explain. Let's check pin number 13 for 5 volts. So that's pin number 11, 12, 13. Okay, and we are getting 0 volts for pin number 13. We have our current sense on pin number 5 and 1, but right now it doesn't matter because we are getting 0.8 volts on pin number 3, which should be 3.3 volts. Why is this important? Now, 1285A pin number 3, 3.3 volts, supplies the voltage to the Super I/O chip. And the Super I/O chip will respond by enabling the signals on enable 1 and enable 2 of the chip. And by doing so, you get 5 volts on the chip. Now, the fact that we have 0.8 volts on pin number 3, it means something may be going on with the Super I/O chip, maybe a short circuit on the chip itself, where it's dragging down the voltage to 0.8, and as a result, the enable signals on the chip are not being generated, enable 1 and enable 2 of the chip. And if we do not have the enable signals, then we're not going to get the 5 volts and the whole board will not work. Right now, few possibilities. It could be the chip itself, which I highly doubt because I've worked with that very same chip so many times. I always remove it, replace it, and it's never the chip. And after doing a lot of ASUS laptops, I discovered that the Super I/O chip is what actually fails that causes the 1285A chip to get extremely hot. So right now what we can do is we can inject 3 volts at pin number 3, 3.3 volts, and we'll monitor. If our Super I/O chip gets hot, then our problem is likely the Super I/O chip. Let's go ahead and do that. We're going to inject 3 volts on pin number 3. Let me get my thermal camera ready, and let's do it. Right now, we still have the charging cable plugged in, and that's why you see heat here. So let me unplug the charging cable. You do not want to inject voltage while the charging cable is plugged in. It's not needed. You see how the chip is cooling down now because I just unplugged the cable. Let's go ahead and inject voltage, 3 volts. And look at our Super I/O chip. It's flaming. We got it. Let's remove the chip. It's end of the day and it's time to go home, but at least I want to remove the chip. Then we can measure voltages on 1285A chip, and we'll decide if removing the chip fixed the problem, right? Now the chip has a firmware in it, it's programmed. But based on my experience working on those boards, the board will program the chip by itself. If we put another chip, the board is going to program the chip from BIOS. Let's go ahead and remove it. I thought we had a hole in the chip, but it's not a hole. Visually, the chip looks good. No burn marks, nothing blown. But right now the chip is pulling down the 3.3 volts line to 0.8 volts. And when we injected 3 volts on pin number 3, the chip got hot. So that's very likely our problem. You never want to drop the chip over the components, especially if those components are still soft, because you're going to create a mess that will take a long time to fix. Luckily, nothing happened here. Right now, everything is shorting out with everything, so we need to clean the pads before we can measure again. NF.Flux, white, NF.Mini solder pen. Just gonna go over the pads quick. Make sure everything is nice and clean. The Flux is super easy to clean, as you can see. And the chip is not too far away from the Super I/O chip, the 1285A. Where is it? So that's our 1285A chip, and that's our Super I/O chip. Okay? Not too far apart. So that's where we applied heat and removed the Super I/O chip. That's why the board is hot on this side. Our 1285 chip is right over here. Okay, so the area is cool. Let me plug the charging cable and we're gonna monitor the 1285 chip to see if it will get hot like before. Charging cable is plugged in and look at this. No heat spot on the 1285 chip anymore because we removed the Super I/O chip. That's our 1285A chip. And that's our charging cable plugged in. And right now we do not have heat on that chip no more. Wow. We got it. We got it. Now the question is, are we going to get the voltages on the chip after removing the Super I/O chip? Right? Let's measure. Meter in voltage mode. We're going to measure right here. Before we got 0.8 and now we have 3.3 volts. Wow. Let me show you on camera. Wow. We got it. The problem is the Super I/O chip. All right, so look at this. 3.3 volts. Wow. You see, if you understand how the process works, troubleshooting becomes easy when working with laptops. 3.3 volts. We got 0.8 volts. 3.3 volts communicates with the Super I/O chip. Once it communicates, it powers on the Super I/O chip. The Super I/O chip will power on enable 1, enable 2 on the 1285A chip, which will then generate the 5 volts and everything will power on the board. The fact that we had 0.8 volts, it means the Super I/O chip was somehow pulling the voltage down. Removing the chip restored the voltage, and tomorrow we'll attempt to desolder a chip off another ASUS motherboard, reball it, or we can just order another chip already rebolt, solder it back on, and fix the laptop. So we are done. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll do something else in the next video. If you have not already purchased a shirt, we are shipping out the shirts on the 1st in a couple of days. I did mention that we ship out shirts once a week. We currently have 11 different designs on our site, everything from Better Than Factory to the NorthridgeFix shirt to all the slogans that we constantly say on the channel. Check it out. Log in to NorthridgeFix.com, click on shop, add to cart, checkout, pay, and we almost always ship out same day on all the products except the shirt. If you did place an order for a shirt, then it's going to ship out once a week. If you purchase other items, other tools along with the shirt, then the package will ship out when the shirt ships out. If you ordered without the shirt, then packages ship out same day.